What's good, YouTube? It's your boy DJ LiftOFF, and you don't want to miss this flight. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a controller that I've been using for about the last month, and when I say it truly impressed me, it really did. Now, the controller I'm talking about is the Pioneer DDJ-REV5. Now, in this video, I want to pretty much just talk about some of the pros and not necessarily the cons, but some of the wishes that I wish I could have on this controller. So, of course, as usual, I like to start off with the jog wheels. Now, these jog wheels, although they feel great and I do enjoy scratching with them, they are mechanical jog wheels. So those are the same types of jog wheels that you'll find on your CDJs or your Pioneer DDJ-1000 or your SRT. So these jog wheels, for me personally, because I'm used to vinyl and I'm just used to using controllers that have capacitive jog wheels, they aren't my favorite. However, even though they aren't my favorite, I still think they're really great for scratching. Now, if you don't know the difference between capacitive and mechanical jog wheels, to simply explain it, mechanical jog wheels, as soon as you touch it, it doesn't necessarily register. So you have to kind of press on the jog wheel a little bit for it actually to register your fingers. So the problem I sometimes run into, because I'm so used to using vinyl, sometimes if I don't press it hard enough, or if I'm like in the middle of scratching, I won't be pressing it hard enough and I'll lose my spot and I'll have to like pull it back. So it doesn't happen a lot per se. However, it's definitely one of those things that you want to know up front, and it's definitely one of those things that you can also get used to if you do or you've had mechanical jog wheels for a while. All right, DJs, there's a quick scratch demo. And one thing I like to always practice when I am using mechanical jog wheels is the stab scratch. And specifically for that pressure, it just kind of lets me know how much pressure I need to put on the mechanical jog wheel. So if I'm quickly letting go and then quickly putting my hand back down, stab scratches always helps me out a lot. Now, this pretty much takes me right into the next topic, which is going to be the crossfader. Now, the crossfader on this REV5 definitely feels really, really good. It's really, really fluid. One added touch on the REV5 is you do have the ability to reverse it as well. So if you do want to practice hamster style scratching, or you are a hamster style scratch DJ, you can easily just flip that switch. All right, so the next thing I want to hop into is the stems on this controller. Now, even though you do have two separate parts where you can control the stems, so essentially right here, if I hold shift and I hit stems, I have my normal just stems options on most controllers, and the fade outs are down here. You also have, of course, your stems up top as well. So with this, you can just press this stems button right here. So as you can see, the stem solo is not activated. So if I press this, it's going to take out that vocal, take out the melody, take out the bass, just like that. Now, if I double tap this stems, you can see this light is now activated. And now if I go ahead and press the vocal, it'll actually solo the vocal instead of take the vocal out. One thing I wish this controller did have is the ability to fade out using these pads up here. Essentially, if you could set the stems, like if there was a third option right here where you could set it to, if I want to press this vocal, it'll actually fade out instead of just come out, I think that would be super cool. That would be something I would definitely use and appreciate. Now, another feature on this controller that I want to talk about is the auto BPM transition. Now, for me personally, I kind of forced myself to try to use this feature, and for me, it just didn't really, not that it didn't go well, I just didn't see a need for it. Whenever I need to adjust the BPM, I actually have tons of videos on that, and I just have different creative ways that I personally like to change the BPM. However, I could definitely see it being useful depending on the certain situation or certain type of transition that you are in. So even though I don't necessarily use it, I can definitely see it coming in handy, because if you just hold shift here and you hit select, you can change that from 1 bar, 2 bar, 4 bars to 8 bars. So if you want to make a really gradual transition where you want to go from one track to line up with another track, definitely use that. Like if you don't want to be too hands-on or you don't feel like getting creative, you can definitely do a 4 or 8 bar transition and it'll be really, really smooth. It'll take care of it completely for you. Again, I like to just creatively do it on my own. So cool feature, but not necessarily for me specifically. Another feature I just wanted to quickly mention, which I think is pretty cool, is the piano play feature. So essentially, if I have Fire over here playing right here, if I go ahead and hold shift and I hit piano play, it essentially changes your entire or both sides, both decks of your board to be able to use this piano play. So if I start here, this is going to be my normal pitch. And as soon as I start pressing the rest of these pads, as you can see in the top right corner, they're going to start going up by +1, +2, +3. So if I start here, I'm at +1, +2, +3, +4, +5. And it's the same thing as I go over this way. So if that's something that you kind of want to incorporate into your sets, again, for me personally, I didn't really use the piano play too much, but if I wanted to do a specific word play or a tone play, more so a tone play, if I figured out a tone play, I would definitely probably try to incorporate the piano play, and the ability to use all of these different pads all the way from +1 to +12 is definitely a game changer. Now, another huge pro for me is the paddle effects on this controller, and generally just the battle style layout. I really love the battle style layout. I do use my S9 the most with my 2 reins, so I'm just familiar with this style, and it's just what fits my DJ style the best. So definitely love the paddle effects. One thing I wish the controller had were hardware effects. It definitely would be dope to have hardware effects on this controller. However, of course, every single controller can't have those hardware effects. Now, a few more pros I want to mention on this controller is going to start with the jog feel. Definitely always good to have on any controller that has jog wheels. I like to usually leave mine at 12 o'clock. Sometimes I'll turn it down like 1 or 2 notches just to have a little bit more flexibility. However, if you do like to do backspin transitions, if you turn this down to light and give that a backspin, you can see it'll spin a lot longer. And of course, if you turn it all the way up to heavy, same thing, you can see it doesn't spin back that fast. So whether it's for transitions or for scratching, you can definitely set that to where you want it to have it just be comfortable for you. Now, the next thing that's great on this controller is the fact that it does have an aux. Definitely love to have an aux no matter where I'm at. If I need to plug in my phone or my computer or just an external anything for whatever reason, always great to have an aux. You also have the controls for that on the front of the board, which is perfect as well. One additional thing on top of the aux is you have 2 microphones as well. Those controls are going to be right towards your left, and you do have the ability to control the highs and the lows, which is definitely great. There's been times where I've not had control over the lows and highs. If you have someone speaking who has a really, really low voice or someone who needs some extra bass and you're not able to add or remove that low, it sometimes can be difficult. So definitely great to have on this controller. And just right into the next thing is definitely going to be the sound quality on this controller as well. The sound quality is great as far as just the sound from the music, as well as I have used this where I've run a microphone directly into this controller and the audio sounded great. It was like a smaller gig and I wasn't sure what was going to happen because I have plugged my microphone into, and it's like a really high-end Shure microphone. I've plugged them into different controllers and sometimes I get decent quality, sometimes it's like I don't know what's happening, and then sometimes it's like, oh, this sounds pretty good. This was definitely like one of those times where I was like, oh, this sounds pretty good. Usually I like to recommend just using a mixer because, you know, mixers are more than likely going to give you better quality. However, sometimes you just need to go directly into the board as well. So with all of that said, that's my quick kind of like follow-up update on the REV5. I definitely recommend this. I would say if you like to scratch, if you like the battle style layout, you of course want something with good quality, this is definitely a good pickup to get. It's small, it doesn't weigh much, so you can easily throw it in the back of your car or, you know, wherever you need to throw it to, wherever you're traveling to. I can really appreciate not having something that's super heavy. I definitely don't like to carry my reins around in my mixer a lot, so this is definitely something that's super duper portable and super duper quality. The build quality isn't like the greatest because it does feel a little bit plastic in some places. However, the durability is still fine for the price point that it's at. And yeah, great controller. So with that said, that's all I got for this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, please leave a comment and subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That notification, I always do something messed up at the end, but you know I'm not about to cut it. I'm about to keep going. Turn on the notification bell so you know the next time that I upload a video. And without further ado, I will catch y'all on the next flight. And if you made it this far into the video, I do have DJliftoff.com/learning-roadmap if you do want a roadmap of like just tons of videos that I've created over the years. And it pretty much gives you a roadmap from the fundamentals through scratching and through mixing. So if you want to check that out, DJliftoff.com. I'm up out of here.